Good morning. Today with us is Nick Arnett, right? And Nick Arnett is working on this project called the 12 City Project, right? And I'm new to this project, so explain to us what is this 12 step? Is it 12 step or
12 Cities Project.
12 Cities Project? It's not an alcohol prevention
no,
project. No alcohol prevention.
it's kind of been a Morpheus project. It's something that I started back in July of 2011, just to really gain some perspective of what other cities are doing to attract and retain talent, to foster innovation, and to really boost their entrepreneurial ability. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take a year and I'm going to totally immerse myself in the startup culture and the entrepreneurial communities of other cities across the country. And my plan originally was to do 12 cities in 12 months. So it was going to be one per month and just 1 week out of the month. But obviously that hasn't worked out as planned. It was a little ambitious. So more like 12 cities in 18 months now.
Okay.
But yeah, I compiled a list. I overlaid all kinds of data when I was trying to figure out which cities to visit. Took in several suggestions from both people here locally whose opinions I trust and across the country, overlaid it with sold the community study data from the Knight Foundation, and whittled the whole list down to about 15 cities and just did a hat pick from there. But really what I'm looking for whenever I visit one of these cities is I'm trying to find out what is it that they use as kind of a magnetizing force to both retain the young talent that they have there right now and attract new talent there, and how else do they foster that innovative entrepreneurial spirit and mindset among their resident populations.
So now you need to pay bills while you are doing this. So if somebody were to hire you, what expertise do they hire you on?
Well, I do consulting work on the side. So while I'm not traveling with the 12 Cities Project, I work with a couple different clients here in the Fort Wayne area. Right now, one of my larger clients is the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership. I'm helping them with a millennial segment of Vision 2020. So we're really trying to create a regional visioning process that engages and activates and empowers our 15 to 25 age range population. And that's really what I look into when I'm in these other cities is, how do they empower and engage and activate that millennial population? Because studies will show that millennials between that 15 to 25 or even a little bit higher than that age range are really the most entrepreneurial segment of our population at this time because they're young, they have a lot of life before them, and they're more willing to take risks that other generations wouldn't.
So now this show is called Monday Morning Jolt, right? So how do you get yourself motivated on Monday? Coffee?
Coffee.
From Higher Grounds downtown?
Yes, in the Star Financial Bank lobby.
So, and then you have a choice. Anywhere you go in Fort Wayne, you can find Higher Grounds.
Yeah, if Higher Grounds isn't open, I've got a whole list of my favorite local coffee shops. But Higher Grounds is always my first choice.
Okay, and then you have plenty of them, right?
Oh yeah.
So you get yourself motivated with coffee, right?
Yes.
So
a little too much of it sometimes, but
yeah. So you are a very young guy, and then you do a lot in this community. I mean, you do so many projects at any given time, right?
Great.
What kind of advice can you give to businesses that they don't notice, like from a young person's perspective? I mean, a lot of businesses here in town, it's from like 30 or over people who are running it. So from a young person's perspective, what can you tell? What do you observe and say like, oh, okay, these guys are not doing this?
One thing that has been really interesting through the 12 Cities Project and sitting down with several startup companies and just other businesses in other cities is finding out the challenges that they're facing right now and reaching out to millennial populations to buy their products or to market to them. And really it's kind of been an interesting scenario to see how people my age are reacting to new and emerging marketing strategies, and probably I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head, but there was a company who just launched a marketing campaign that was similar to what Coca-Cola did decades ago, where it was kind of subliminal messaging. This company ran commercials that focused on a story about an individual who was using their product, but they weren't marketing the product specifically. And that's the kind of messaging that really reaches out to my age range and my demographic, is that we don't want to be said, or we don't want a company to say, buy my coffee, it's the best. We want people to tell us a story about the coffee, tell us a story behind what led this company to create what they have today, and what's their passion and motivation moving forward. And the more that we hear about that, and the more that we're involved in the messaging of that, the more likely we are to buy the cup of coffee.
Yeah. So is there an adage that you live your life by?
Always stay humble and always stay hungry. That's what I tell everyone.
So it's the edge.
What was that?
Humble and hungry.
Humble and hungry. I always try to stay humble in whatever I do, and realize that, especially at my age, I have a lot to learn, which is exciting to me. I consider myself a lifelong learner. That's the whole basis behind the 12 Cities Project, is for me to continue my education, and always stay hungry. Always realize that there's more out there to grasp, more out there to discover, and always have that hunger for finding more.
Oh, okay. Now, you look like a quiet, private guy, but I think there's a side to you that people might not know, right?
Sure.
What is something that not many people know about you?
Not many people know about me. I would say I'm an avid coffee drinker, but I don't think that's too.
That's too. I mean, that's like most people in the United States.
Yeah. I do like to travel. Relating to that, I am a self-proclaimed weather nerd. In the summers, you can find me with a radar on my phone tracking where the storms are, and I'll drive 2 hours just to find a good thunderstorm.
Wow.
Some people call me crazy, but I've got a group of friends who we all love it, and we'll make a whole day out of it, just chasing storms all over the region.
I don't know. I have seen people who are doing ghost hunting. So I think this is much more educational and entertaining than looking for ghosts. Right? I mean, I would think so.
Yeah, you're pretty much promised to see something. Whether it's lightning or thunder or
something, right? So you will get a result.
Yeah.
With ghosts, you might go a couple of years until you make up a ghost or something.
Right.
So my other question to you is if you were to have a superpower, what would you have as a superpower?
If I were to have a superpower, it would probably be. This sounds like a weird one, but
nothing is weird.
Wait until I explain it first. To allow people to love the place that they live, or somehow, I guess, expose them to the opportunity that we do have here. Because that's one thing that I've been back and forth with about with my group of friends. A lot of them have gone away for college in recent years, and they say, why are you in Fort Wayne, or why do you want to stay in Fort Wayne? And I always tell them, I think that because their complaint is that there's not enough opportunity here for them. And I always say, I think that it's not an issue of not having enough opportunity, but I think that rather we have so much opportunity here that we're blind to it sometimes.
Well, I tend to think I tend to agree with you, because I was involved in this project. That because a friend of mine told me, she told me this: if you think Fort Wayne is boring, you might be a boring person, or you are lazy. Right? So there are things, because I always hear people who are organizing the events, they are saying yeah, I'm having this, nobody's coming, right? And then yet some other people are complaining there's nothing to do. Right? At any given day.
There's a disconnect there.
It's that disconnect. So hopefully your generation can fill this gap. Right? So the most important question that we have here is, how do people get hold of you?
How to get a hold of me, best way is to email me at Nicholas, that's Nicholas .a.Arnett, Arnett, at gmail.com, the world's longest Gmail address.
Yeah,
Or you can find me at Twitter at N.A. Arnett, and Arnett is spelled A-R-N-E-T-T, or by visiting 12citiesproject.com, all spelled out.
12 Cities just spelled out, no dashes or anything like that?
Just 12citiesproject.com.
So we would like to thank Nick for coming and joining us today. We are recording at Best Western, Fort Wayne, and I would like to thank the audience for listening in. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.